Translation purport given by His Divine Grace Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation. One should mentally honor the devotee who chants the holy name of the Lord Krishna. One should offer humble obeisances to the devotee who has undergone spiritual initiation, Diksha, and is engaged in the worship of the deity. And one should associate with and faithfully serve that pure devotee who's advanced in undeviated devotional service and whose heart is completely devoid of the propensity to criticize others. Hare Krishna. That's a beautiful sloka. we'll read from page 68. The chanting of the holy names of Krishna is so sublime that if one chants Hare Krishna Mahamantra offenselessly, carefully avoiding the 10 offenses, he can certainly be gradually elevated to the point of understanding that there is no difference between the holy name and the law of the Lord and the Lord Himself. One who has reached such an understanding should be very much respected by neophyte devotees. One should know for certain that without chanting of holy names of Lord offenselessly, one cannot be proper candidate for advancement in Krishna consciousness. Dear devotee, this is very important, this line. One should know for certain that without chanting the holy names of the Lord offenselessly, one cannot be a proper candidate for advancement in Krishna consciousness. Yahara komala shraddha se kanishta janaha krame krame tenho bhakti haive uttama. One whose faith is soft and pliable is called a neophyte. But by gradually following the process, he will rise to the plot. He will rise to the platform of the first class devotee. Everyone begins his devotional life from the neophyte stage. But if one properly finishes chanting the prescribed number of rounds of Harinama, he is elevated step by step to the highest platform, Uttama Adhikari. That Krishna conscious movement prescribes 16 rounds daily because people in the Western countries cannot concentrate for a long period. Actually, Gaudiya Vaishnava, they were chanting 64 rounds. Prabhupada so mercifully, he gave only 16 rounds. 64 rounds means 8 hours of chanting every day. Prabhupada said, "Oh, you cannot do this, at least chant 16 rounds." So it's very important, dear devotees. One can never go lower than that. Fixed. The Krishna consciousness movement prescribes 16 rounds daily because people in Western countries cannot concentrate for a long period while chanting on beats. Therefore, the minimum number of rounds is prescribed. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur is telling what we discussed. However, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur used to say that unless one chants at least 64 rounds of japa, 100,000 names, he is considered fallen, patita. According to his calculation, practically every one of us is fallen. But because we are trying to serve the Supreme Lord with all seriousness and without duplicity, we can expect the mercy of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. I'll repeat this again, very important. According to his calculation, practically every one of us is fallen. But because we are trying to serve the Supreme Lord with all seriousness and without duplicity, we can two things, seriousness and without duplicity. We can expect the mercy of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is famous as Patita Pavan, the deliverer of the fallen. When Srila Satyaraj Khan, a great devotee of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, asked the Lord how a Vaishnava could be recognized, the Lord replied, Prabhu kahe yandra muke suniye kabara, Krishna nama se puja shrestha sabakara. If one hears a person say even once the word Krishna, that person should be accepted as the best man out of the common men. Out of the common men. If one at least hears once ek bar, Hare Krishna, we all heard Hare Krishna. We should give respect to each other. Because the devotees are far, far better than the common people in this world. So it's very logical. Eite Vayandramuke Eka Krishna Nama Setava Vaishnava Karyakanhara Sammana. One who is interested in chanting the holy name of Krishna, or is practice or who by practices like or who by practice likes to chant Krishna's name should be accepted as a Vaishnava and offered respects as such, at least within one's mind. This is next level. One who is interested in chanting the holy name of Krishna, or who by practice likes to chant Krishna's name, should be accepted as a Vaishnava and offer respects as such, at least within one's mind. One of our friends, a famous English musician, has become attracted to chanting of holy names of Krishna. And even in his records, he has several times mentioned the holy name of Krishna. At his home, he offered respect to the picture of Krishna and also to the preachers of Krishna consciousness. In this regard, he has very high estimation for Krishna's name and Krishna's activities. Therefore, we offer respects to him without reservation. For we are actually seeing that this gentleman is advancing gradually in Krishna consciousness. Such a person should always be shown respect. The conclusion is that anyone who is trying to advance in Krishna consciousness by regularly chanting the holy names should always be respected by Vaishnavas. On the other hand, we witness that some of our contemporaries who are supposed to be great preachers had gradually fallen into the material conception of life because they have failed to chant the holy name of the Lord. While giving instructions to Sanatan Goswami, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu divided devotional service into three categories. Shastra Yukti Nahi Jane Drida Shraddhavan Madhyamadhikare Se Mahabhagavan. A person whose conclusive knowledge of Shastras is not very strong, but has developed firm faith in chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra and is also undeterred in the execution of his prescribed devotional service should be considered a Madhyama. Such a person is very fortunate. A Madhyama Adhikari is Shraddhavan, a staunchly faith person, and is actually a candidate for further advancement in devotional service. Therefore, in Chaitanya Charitamritam, it is said, Shraddhavan Jana Hai Bhakti Adhikari, Uttama Madhyama Kanishta Shraddhanusari. One becomes qualified as a devotee on the elementary platform, the intermediary platform, and the highest platform of devotional service according to the development of his Shraddha. Very important. One becomes qualified as a devotee on the elementary platform, the intermediary platform, and the highest platform, different levels of devotees, of devotional service, according to the development of his faith, Shraddha. Shraddha Shabdhe Vishwashe Shuddhada Nishya Krishna Bhakti Kaya Sarva Karma Krita Hai. By rendering transcendental service to Krishna, one automatically performs all subsidiary activities. Hare Krishna. Shraddha, faith in Krishna is the beginning of Krishna consciousness. Faith means strong faith. The words of Bhagavad Gita are authoritative instructions for faithful men. And whatever Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita is to be accepted as it is, without interpretation. This was the way Arjuna accepted Bhagavad Gita. After hearing Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna told Krishna, Sarvametam ritam manya yanmam vadasi kesavaha. Oh Krishna, I totally accept as truth all that you have told me. Hare Krishna. Mama jnanatimirandasya jnananjanashalakaya chakshurunmilitam mena tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Mera Bhutale Swayam Rupaka Dhamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Manchagalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pungam Langayate Gram Kripa Tamaham Bande Shri Guru Dinatarinam. Hare Krishna. A very beautiful lines which Srila Prabhupada is writing. Very, very important. Actually, the progress in a sadhaka's life comes through strongly taking the association of what acharyas are giving. Every line what Srila Prabhupada writes, if we take it to the heart, dear devotees, we make immense progress. श्रद्धा शब्द विश्वास सुदृढ़ निश्चय कृष्ण भक्ति को सर्व कर्म पिता है. The advancement of a sadhaka's life doesn't matter in which stage he is, neophyte, madhyama, no, doesn't matter wherever he is. Actually, we are not worried where we are. Generally, we are little worried. Oh, am I madhyama? Am I kanishta? What am? No, we don't have to think about that. We have to think of how to make progress. Shouldn't think where am I? Because the moment we think that we are at somewhere, that's actually that actually leads to complacency. A sadhaka, especially himself, he shouldn't think. Actually, sadhaka, he shouldn't think about his services also. He should just continue doing it. He shouldn't think, oh, this year I have did that, this year I have done that, this time I have done that. Basically, I'm not saying that we should never think about that. We should think in the lines of Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra. That means our thoughts should never be independent. Even our thoughts should not be independent. Here, Srila Prabhupada is mentioning in the Western countries, minimum 16 rounds is required. That's why he established this organization. At least chant 16 rounds every day. Because the chanting of the holy name of the Krishna is so sublime, one should strive to chant it offenselessly. No, we need to understand. When chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra is done with offenses, then the progress is checked. Sadhaka will not make much progress. For example, is chanting Hare Krishna, is talking ill about other devotees. It will not work. For example, is chanting Hare Krishna and then he's seeing faults in others. That will not work. We discussed for more than a month about 10 offenses. Because it is very important. Unless and until we really understand what that is, cannot make progress. Progress is that is the most important. He says here, right? Yahara komala shraddha se kanishta jana krame krame teno bhakta he uttama. One whose faith is soft, that means he doesn't have that much faith. Because through faith only one surrender comes. Through faith only, yetamam prapadyante tamsada bhajamyam. He'll put more steps forward. If the faith is not strong, then he cannot do services. Because he wants to engage in something else other than Krishna consciousness. But when the faith becomes strong and strong, by following the process gradually, then he comes, and then he comes to the platform of a pure devotee. That is the whole point. Srila Prabhupada established this mission to make everyone pure devotees. That is the whole point. That is the whole point of discussion. Because if you see the life of Arjuna, he had a difficulty, which nobody gets that kind of a difficulty. Not just Arjuna, every Pandava, they have a difficulty. Pandavas had always difficulties. But at every difficulty, they were not bogged down because their faith is very deep, convinced, they're fully fixed up in the process. We cannot just say that, oh, my health is bad, I'll skip my rounds, or my this is bad, I'll not continue the service, or that is bad, I cannot do this. We can find so many reasons to go away. But one should be fixed up in the process that doesn't matter in which situation we are, we should aspire for this. I remember my spiritual master, when a devotee left the body in the dham, he gave 5 hours of class. Because night they cannot burn the body. All the devotees were sitting along with the person who left. He gave continuous discussion class for 5 hours. What is that? That is Shraddha. Because that devotee went back to the spiritual world. Remember our spiritual master telling us. He said this devotee went back to the spiritual world. But whoever else is there, their faith got convinced. They got fixed up into the process. They are understanding on a deeper level that Krishna consciousness is the essence of everything. For that, what is required? For that, association is required. A sadhaka who has that faith, a sadhaka who has that faith in the process, he slowly, he will make progress. Because the moment we hear continuously about the words of the acharyas, about their instructions, what happens is it fixes into our consciousness. And a thought of deviation which is coming in our heart, that is also checked. One should actually check that also. Because the three gunas are working so difficult, dear devotees. To chant offenselessly is not easy because their modes are always telling, no, that person is not doing right, this person is not doing right. This is there, they have a problem, here they have a problem. No. What we should do is our aspiration should not be that. Please understand, it is only the Rajoguna which will try to find faults with others. If a sadhaka is in Sattvaguna, he will never find faults with others. Please understand. If a person is envious means he is in Rajo. Why? Because he is insecure. What is that insecurity? That insecurity is telling him, Mera kya hoga? If people will take my position, what's going to happen? These are all the inebrities. That is the core reason. Yesterday I was reading Bhagavad Gita in the morning. We were discussing about that. In that it is very clearly indicated that Duryodhana is not worried because Arjuna is mentioning to Krishna about this. These people on the other side, they are fully engrossed in materialistic way of living. This is what Arjuna is telling. Fully engrossed in the materialistic way of living. They have so many desires to have this, to have that property, to make advancement. And he wants to retain his kingdom. Because he cannot live with his kingdom. Just like pure devotees cannot live other than Krishna, this person, he cannot live other than his kingdom. For that, he's ready to kill all the people. It doesn't matter. his action and activity, is to kill. Please understand this, dear devotees. What is happening is Duryodhana is not bothered that all these people will be died, they will be killed in the battlefield. It's a problem. He's not worried about that. But what is his real worry is to get property, to get his dynasty or to get his kingdom back. So why am I telling this is Rajoguna. Kamesha Kojesha Rajoguna Samudbhava. So what is this Rajoguna doing? This Rajoguna is actually keeping the sadhaka or keeping the soul here only. So even after coming to Krishna consciousness, for example, if a person is a great person, or he might be a big doctor or big engineer, and then he comes to the process. And eventually he becomes a leader. And then what he does is, whatever he's doing in that material life, he'll try to repeat the same thing here. Because he become a big person materially. Now he thinks that everyone should actually respect him in that way. Even though he doesn't have qualities. Even though he doesn't have faith, conviction in the process. What is this? This is Rajoguna. Please understand this, dear devotees. And whoever is there under that association, he will be fired up. He will be fried up. Because they always tell him, respect me, respect me, respect me. I'm your guru, respect me, respect. What is this? This is all nonsense actually. This is not devotion only. Who is telling this is devotion? Have you seen a pure devotee asking me to respect me, respect me? I've never seen a pure devotee like that. Give me respect, give me respect, give me this. That's not devotion, dear devotees. Please understand. It is in Rajoguna. Kamesha, Krodesha, Rajoguna Samudbhava. This leads only the mentality of Duryodhana. But having the dress of a Vaishnava. That's not a Vaishnava. Please understand. Vaishnava means Titik Sava Karunika. He has beautiful qualities manifesting from his heart. Shrida Saradupta Najata Shatrava Santa Sadhava Sadhubhushan. That qualities are manifested in him. That is a Vaishnava. Vaishnava faith is firmly fixed up. He's not worried, oh, if people are coming or not coming. He's not thinking about that. He's just thinking, how do I serve my spiritual master? Just like Srila Prabhupada. He's not, please understand this dear devotees. Srila Prabhupada was not thinking, oh, people should give me respect. I'll tell you a few things about Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada was some days, he was one day he was about to eat at one place, one day he was about to eat at another place. People wouldn't feed him. He simply respected them. He was never envious. Simply respected them and then moved forward. He slept like that only. He was not waiting, oh, people should respect me. People should give me garland. People should give me this, that, so many other things. No, he never took that to his heart. Please understand it, this, dear devotees. He never took that to his heart. His only intention is what? To serve his spiritual master. No matter where he is, in which situation he has been kept, his only motive is to serve. So this Kamesha, Krodesha, Rajoguna Samudbhava, when that is there, dear devotees, we make offenses. That's what Prabhupada is telling. One should be free from these offenses. One should be free from these propensities of putting others down. Who are we really? What is put others down? Putting others down. The moment we put others down, their faith is diminished. They cannot take the process of Krishna consciousness. They feel that Krishna is not there. Yes, because they're impacted. Now, when you have a relationship, when you develop a relationship with that person, I remember my spiritual master, he developed relationship with five, like, he will not even tell a word for a few years. He just gives relationship. He just gives the truth. For a few years, and then after that, if a sadhaka comes and asks him, I'm not making progress, can you please tell me what I should do? Then he will tell. You know how much patience it requires for that? Because he knows what the problem is, but he cannot tell. Because the relationship is not yet developed. Dear devotees, you know what? It will take minimum 10 years to understand Krishna consciousness. Minimum 10 years. If one really focuses, if one really practices, if one really hears, understands. There's so many ways of doing this Krishna consciousness, dear devotees. But our focus is not that. Our focus is to practice Krishna consciousness on a pure platform. Please understand this. Practice Krishna consciousness in what? Anya Abhilashita, no other motive. My only motive is to please the Lord. That's what Srila Prabhupada says. Prabhupada says, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj, he told us to chant 64 rounds. How many rounds? 16 into 4. 16 rounds will take 2 hours. 64 rounds will take 8 hours. And then after doing that, they were doing services and everything. That means their fully life is dedicated to that only. Prabhupada says that you cannot do that. Then Prabhupada was Vinesh. Prabhupada actually told 64 to chant first. सबको बोला है 64 round chant करो. Then devotee started telling Swamiji cannot chant 64 rounds. The Prabhupada says that you at least chant 48 rounds. Swamiji, 48 is also very difficult. Prabhupada says at least you chant 32 rounds. Swamiji, 32 also is very difficult. And Prabhupada said, I cannot go further, but I'm coming. for you, because I want to take all of you to the spiritual world, at least you chant 16 rounds. Prabhupada said, I cannot go down than that. At least 16 rounds. Dear devotees, what is this age? This age is Kali Yuga. In Kali Yuga, can we sit 1 hour steadily? We cannot sit even 1 hour steadily. Can we do any of the yoga siddhis or the meditation which were done in Satya Yuga? No, that cannot be done. How? Because the Yuga Dharma of Satya Yuga is that. The Yuga Dharma of Kali Yuga is what? Harer Nama, Harer Nama, Harer Nama eva kevalam, Kalu Nasteva, Kalu Nasteva, 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 Gatiranyata. That means the chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra is the only thing which is there in this Kali Yuga. And for that, we need to develop deep, deep, deep consciousness. Because otherwise, if the consciousness is not developed, we cannot chant Hare Krishna. We tend to stray away from the process. So what is the Yuga Dharma? Is to chant Golokera Premadan, Harinam Sankirtan. To chant the names, is to chant the names of the Lord. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. And that too with what? With what attitude and consciousness? Offenselessly. Please understand. How do one should chant? Offenselessly. His actions and activities should be done in what? He should never offend anyone. The Vaishnava should never offend anyone. Should give respect to everyone. Advaishta Sarabhutana. Advaishta, non-envious. These are the small things, dear devotees. But through Rajoguna, what happens is mind will actually tend or stray away from that. And then Srila Prabhupada is mentioning here, right? We are all patita. He's talking about us. Prabhupada is mentioning, you're all patita. Why? Because you're not abiding to the instruction. Then Prabhupada said, you at least chant Hare Krishna and then do everything for the pleasure of the Lord. Then through the mercy of Lord Chaitanya, we will be uplifted. The consciousness should be transformed in such a way that every moment we should work for Krishna. We have no other business actually in this world. What business we have? Do we have any other business other than this? The so-called materialism also will not give satisfaction to the heart. We are just leading a life, that's it. But that life which we are leading will only be beneficial, will only give satisfaction, will only give solace to the heart when that life is dedicated to the Lord. Please understand, because if you actually technically see, our age is slowly moving away from our consciousness. We are actually heading. every day we get up in the morning. That means one day we are closer to death, and one day we are also closer to the Lord. Both the ways, right? One day we are closer to death, one day we are closer to the Lord. One day we are closer to the Lord, that will be convinced to a devotee. Somebody doesn't have to tell him, because what he does is he practices the process continuously, because he doesn't know how many days he will live. What he'll do is he'll just continue practicing that moment by moment. But in the conditioned state, what happens, dear devotees? The three gunas, right? Karanam guna sangasya satasya janma yonishu. The three modes of material nature, they are actually affecting us. The same sadhaka who chanted Hare Krishna very sincerely for 2 years, he does an action which is against the principles of Krishna consciousness. How is that happening? Because the devotee was asking this question. How is this, Prabhu? कैसा होता है? मैं तो चैंटिंग किया सुबह में, फिर उसके बाद I don't know why the mind is deviating. I don't know why I'm doing something else which is not congenial, which I know that is not right, but somehow I'm doing it. What is the problem with that? How is it? How is it manifesting? The answer is Rajoguna is dominating. Sometimes Tamoguna dominates. Through that Rajoguna, you know what is Rajoguna? Rajoguna means it will convince us we are the controller. Please understand this. Through Rajoguna, it will convince us that we are the controller. It will convince us that I am the well-wisher of everyone. It will convince that I will take care of everyone. Just like an ant, it's in Rajoguna. What it does, all day it works. Just like the human beings, the moment 9 kicks in, everybody goes to the office. Rajo, working, working, working. They're all convinced. Because if I do this, I'll be happy. If I do this, I can take care of everyone. If I do this, I'll be satisfied. So the guna, they cover up us. They cover us. Oh, I need to take care of this. I need to take care of this. Rajo. It's so sad actually. The children go to the school at 6:30 or 6 in the morning. I was just thinking about this. What is that? That time is a Sattva Guna time. That time is also killing the America, the so-called society. They're killing that time also. I was just thinking, Are, yaar, 6 o'clock is early in the morning. It's a time for, it's a Sattva Guna. Now the children are going to the school at that time, 6:30. That means they're killing that time also. Wow. I was just thinking about that. That means if the child has to go to the school at 6:30, the parents have to prepare the meals by 5. That means what are they doing? Parents are not chanting Hare Krishna, they are making the preparations for the child. Now what is that? That is Rajo. No, devotees, they get up like 3 in the morning. Then there's an opportunity to get up early in the morning. But if you see that, what is that? It's a Rajo. And then children go to the school and then that time has to be used for practicing spirituality. But what is this culture, this society, what is it doing? It's killing. What is it doing? It's killing. Killing what? Killing the time, the crucial time of sattva. Time of sattva. It's been killed. Actually, Rajoguna kicks in by afternoon. More. Even in the evening, it's complete ignorance. So these are the times, dear devotees, when people offend others. Do you see people offending other person early in the morning? No, we don't see that. Because this is sattva. And that is the reason when one practices Krishna consciousness in that early morning time. When we hear this Krishna consciousness at early in the morning, it goes in the heart. It gets impacted. We become impacted. We will always check our conscious. Is it right? Am I doing it correctly or not? We will check once and twice before doing an action. If any thoughts are coming, we will always check, is this thought correct to me? Is this correct to me or not? You're always thinking about that. Please understand this, dear devotees. This is actually the real process. Practically, Prabhupada, that's what he gave, practical science. Through that practical science, what is happening? Slowly, these anarthas, because we are consciously checking, oh, I'm not doing any offenses or not. Am I doing any offenses? No, I should be very careful. I should give respect. Or if he's not initiated, that's okay. I will give respect from the heart. If he's initiated and then serving the deities, then I will offer obeisances to him. Right? And if he's helping, if he's motivating others, I will offer obeisances to him. I will offer obeisances, pranams to him. What is this? This is levels. This is different levels of respect. Very important. That's what Srila Prabhupada is writing. Prabhu kahe yanra mukhe suni ekabara Krishna nama sai puja shrestha savakara. If a person at least hears the word of Krishna once, that person should be accepted as the best man among the common men, not the best man among the devotees. Please understand. There's a difference. Where Krishna's Kailash Goswami is telling how the respect has to be given. One should know. For example, a person just came and he heard Krishna, right? No, he should be appreciated, he should be given respect among the common men, right? Because he's hearing the names of the Lord. He should be given little more respect than compared to the common men of this world. Okay. Not that he should be given full respect. Please understand. That is also a problem. Very important. And when one's faith is fully fixed up, he might not understand fully the details of the scriptures. Then he comes to the state of Madhyama. Very important. So, slowly, what one should do is, one should aspire for this pure devotional service. This is a consciousness which we need to cultivate. Again, I'll come back to this modes, which are very difficult, but it might take so much time to really understand how these modes would work. And then the moment we understand, we have to check our consciousness. For that, we should be complete Krishna conscious, dear devotees. To check that modes. For example, you're speaking to your wife. How am I speaking to her? We are speaking to other devotees. How am I speaking to them? With what attitude I'm speaking? With what consciousness I'm speaking? What kind of respect I'm giving? What am I thinking about them internally in my heart? Am I giving them respect internally? Am I seeing good in them? These are the things which we need to check. This is goodness. A person who checks like that is in goodness. Please understand. Person has to check like this only. Otherwise, whatever mind says, one shouldn't speak that. Mind is a foolish. It always tells that you do this, you do this. So many unwanted things. Bajahure mana Shrinandanandana Abhaya Charanara Vrindare. One should take shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord. Abhaya. Abhaya Sattva Samsiddhir. One should always take the shelter. Then what happens is mostly the mind will slowly transform. Slowly changes and then make progress. The mind is only satisfied when it takes shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord. Savai mana Krishna padara vindayo. This state one should be established. This is faith. The sadhaka is realizing more and more that no, there is no happiness here actually. Happiness is only at the lotus feet of the Lord. There's nowhere else. The happiness is only in following the instructions of the acharyas, nowhere else. The happiness is only to surrender to the spiritual master, nowhere else. Our dear Madhava Krishna Prabhu was sharing in the group a small, nice, beautiful message of the Acharya, where he was Bhakti Swami Maharaj was sharing that. You know what? It was very beautiful instruction. He said, surrendering to the spiritual master, surrendering to the Diksha Guru, Shiksha Guru is the essence of everything. Because what is happening, dear devotees, if this surrender is not established, then the progress is always checked. Just by offering some flowers, one will not get satisfaction. But one should give one's life. Now, this is the highest standard. We don't know when we will come to that standard, but that is the aspiration. That is what we need to aspire for. We need to understand the process of Krishna consciousness is so sublime that it cannot It cannot be received just like that because Krishna is giving you the greatest thing. So he expects something from us, from our side. He's asking the greatest thing. If you actually see these lines, na dhana, na jana, na sundari, kavitam va jagadisha kamaya, what are all these things? These are all things which are coming after surrender. This come, they do come into the consciousness. Mama janmani janmani. Who will tell that life after life I should do the service? Who's fully surrendered? That is the quality which we need to manifest. Now, if a sadhaka fully surrendered, do you think he will do offenses? Do you think he will put the other person down? No, he will never put the other person down. Actually, if you are hearing from a person who is surrendered, you will also get an aspiration to surrender. If he is really surrendered from his heart, otherwise will not get aspiration. It is very important. This I understood by seeing my Swachanashtam. Fully surrendered. They speak about that continuously. If you take any Srila Prabhupada lecture, he will at least speak about surrender once in the class. You take any lecture, he says give up sense gratification. Come to the plane of surrender. Take the shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord. Savayamana Krishna Padara Vindaya. Do not talk anything nonsense from this tongue. Always talk about the glories of the Lord. How can I talk ill about the other devotee with this tongue? The moment I talk ill about the other devotees with the tongue, you know what happens? The snake will come and then devour us. Just like Prabhupada gives this example, beautiful. The frog, dear devotees, the frog, the frog is croaking. And then that croaking of the frog is actually, snake will find the frog through that croaking. And then it will come and then devour. So the moment we discuss anything unwanted things other than Krishna consciousness, material nature will devour us. Please understand. You know what happens? Material nature will devour us. It will usurp us. It will take away. So never talk ill about others. If you have any problems, you need to report to the authority. They will take care of that. That's what we need to do. Hare Krishna. Because their devotees, what's happening is if the authority comes to the plane of surrender, then the devotees who are there under that guidance, they will be benefited so much. Actually, I've seen personally in my life, whoever have good teachers, good trainers in their life, their progress is immense. I've seen so many devotees like that. They are advanced so much actually. Manasa deha geha joki chumor. Because their life and soul, everything is dedicated to the service of Guru and Krishna. This is a state of consciousness which one should always aspire actually. Again, yesterday we touched upon there are four aspects. What are those four aspects? Tapa, tapasya, saucham, daya, satya. Four. These are the four do's which we should do. When we do this four, tapasya means austerity. Saucham, cleanliness. Daya is compassion. Satyam, truthfulness. We just began the conversation yesterday. So, if you actually see about this, dear devotees, A person can do tapasya only, and that tapasya is also in three gunas, dear devotees. It is also impacted. When the tapasya is doing it for one's own self, that is in Rajo. What is that? What is the Rajo? Doing tapasya for one's own benefit. That is Raja. And this tapasya, which one is doing for one's own benefit or satisfaction, that tapasya cannot be continued for longer period of time. because I always think about this. Why tapasya, if one is doing to help himself, cannot be continued? It is not just that one aspect of doing a tapasya for oneself is stopping him. It is not that which is stopping, because his consciousness is like that. His consciousness is like that. Even though after coming to the process, the consciousness itself is like that. I, me, myself. When the consciousness is I, me, myself, then what happens is, then the tapasya is obstructed. Because we are not in the internal energy, that is done in the external energy. Please understand. Devotees do ask this question. Why am I unable to get up early in the morning? Why am I unable to do this every day? Because the tapasya and austerities, we are doing it. We are doing it for uplifting ourselves. Now, initially when we come to Krishna consciousness, they will tell, if you'll take this process, it will benefit you, it will do this, it will give you this, it will give you peace of mind. No, no, no. I will not tell any of those things, because you are already in the process. What we are discussing here is to come to that state of at least Sattva-guna. How does one come to the state of Sattva-guna? When he gives this up. Even in Sattva-guna, there is I, me, myself. But in that Sattva-guna, there is also the presence of Guru, Sadhu and Shastra. Even in Rajoguna, there is Guru, Sadhu and Shastra. But in Rajoguna, this is dominating. I, me, myself is dominating. But in Sattva-guna, he's actually trying to check, because he's studying the scriptures more on a deeper level, he's trying to understand them, he's trying to know, trying to think, trying to get all those things. But on the other side, he's also trying to come out of that, because he understanding that I, me, myself काम से होने वाला नहीं है. Thinking about me is not helping me. You see, all these personalities who just thought about themselves, you know where they went? Duryodhana. He was just thinking about himself. He just wants that property. What was his outcome? His outcome was not right. But on the other side, Arjuna also began thinking about himself in the first chapter. He says, oh, I cannot fight because of this. Oh, I cannot fight because of this. How can I kill my family members? I do not want any kingdom. I can just give this kingdom. Why so many people have to be killed? Here also he is there, but if you understand further about this, but his speaking is in sattva. But the speaking of the other person is not in sattva, it's in rajo. So through that sattva, what is happening is he's slowly turning towards the Lord. He's submitting himself to the Lord, because he knows, because he's actually speaking on a selfless plane, but still his heart is not satisfied, because he's very honest to himself. So when the sadhaka becomes honest to himself, when he checks his heart, when he's always saying, make sab karo, fir bhi kyun nahi ho raha hai? I'm doing. But still I'm not fully relishing why. That is when he submits himself. Until that point of time, the submission will not come. Please understand. Because the Rajoguna and so-called happiness through Sattva. What is happiness through Sattva? Peace. Relax. Free from any problems. This is Sattva. But that also, if it is not connected to Krishna, it has no experiences, it has no existence or substance. You remember yesterday we discussed about this? To what Baldev Shiva Prabhu asked. It's important. Because what is Sattva doing? Sattva will give some satisfaction. A lot of people, they do donation or they do this, they do that. Old age homes, they help old age homes, so many things. That's in goodness. But even if you see, there's an expectation in that. What is that expectation? My name should come in the paper. I should go to Brahma Jyoti. These are all expectations. Brahma Jyoti is a place where there is peace. All these schools, what do they teach? They take the jiva and up until that plane, to the plane of Brahma Jyoti. For that, they say you do this, you do that. For that, they actually use the qualities of the Lord to attain that state. For that, they become Advaita Sarvabhutanam, Maitra Karnevacha, Nirmamo, Nirahankara, Samadukha, Sukha, Kshami. For that reason, they become that. That means, what is the intention? Core of the intention in the heart? I want to reach Brahma Jyoti. So, through that desire, they will reach also. But that is also temporary. Because there is no Krishna there. So, dear devotee, you should understand how important this is. This is so important. Why? Because why is this so important? Why Savaya Mana Krishna Padaravindo at every moment we need to manifest this? Now, who yesterday I was talking to one of my god sister and then she was asking this question. Question is, Prabhu, how is that? How is that we can always remember the Lord? How is that we can always remember our spiritual master? How is that we can always remember Srila Prabhupada? How is that manifesting? How can we do that? How is Savaya Mana Krishna Padaravindo can be manifested? No, for that, Amma, you need to remember them every moment. Then how is that possible practically? You see, a mother, she always thinks about the child. She doesn't put any extra effort to think about the child. So the relationship doesn't put any extra effort. The child, she always remembers the child naturally. Amma, our sad part is we have forgotten that relationship because we came so far away from the Lord. We have forgotten him. भूल गए हम कृष्णा को भूल गए. Forgotten him. That is why it is becoming difficult for us to remember continuously. But if we develop that relationship, just like a mother developed that relationship on his child, that love on the child, if you develop that devotion, that love towards the spiritual master, towards Krishna, then you can remember them continuously. Then you will say, na dhanam na janam na sundari kartam va jagadisha kamaya. Mama Janmani Janmanishwara Bhavatayat Bhakti Rahitu Kitoi. Then you will tell this. Otherwise, you will not tell this. Because love gives everything. Prema gives everything. It gives surrender, it gives submissiveness, it gives everything, what not, everything. Devotion, everything. Pure devotional service, how is that manifesting? How are all the Brajavasis, how are all these Gopikas, how are they serving the Lord continuously? Don't they get fried up? No, they're not fried up. They do it joyfully. They love it. Just like a mother, she would never complain about the child. Oh, my child is this, that. No, no, no. She does service continuously. Because the sadhaka, he continuously serves. Save mana Krishna Padaranandyo. Srila Prabhupada always tells this. Do not use this tongue for any unwanted things. Just use this tongue to glorify the Lord. You see the example of Maharaj Ambarish Maharaj. He says that eyes has to be used to see the form of the Lord and his devotees. The tongue has to be used to glorify the Lord. The ears have to be used to hear the pastimes of the Lord. The body has to be used in the service of the Lord. The legs have to be used to walk to the temple of the Lord. Just see, entire thing is manifested. Entire thing. There's no issue. There's no problem. This, when we understand, we will be indebted so much to our acharyas because they give so much. Through that reason, then Prabhupada says, Tadera charana sene bhatte saneva. Janama janama hoya. I want to serve you life after life. My dear Srila Prabhupada, my dear spiritual master, I want to serve you life after life. I want to serve. Because who will tell this? Who actually understood and then who is coming out of all these things? He will tell, please help me. I want to serve continuously. Nirbandhe Krishna Sambandhe Yukta Vairagyam Uchate. Everything has to be used in the service of the Lord. This is the pinnacle. Now we might not be there. Don't worry. Slowly, slowly continue the process. The more you get the taste, the more you understand the process, the more you know the truth, the more your relation, then naturally these things will come. These things should come before we leave this body. We don't have much time. Hare Krishna. Very, very important. Please try to think about this. Our process is very beautiful. And always check your consciousness. How the gunas are changing us. How the gunas are impacting us. How they are affecting us. How at one point we say, oh yes, this is what I need to do, and the other point we speak something else. We need to understand it's the gunas who are actually impacting us. It is not we. Gunas are affecting us. So we need to understand if a person is speaking ill about the other person, we need to understand he is impacted. He is impacted. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Thank you. Anyone would like to add anything? Would like to speak anything? Any questions? Any comments? Prabhupada is writing, when one fully engages in chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, he gradually realizes his own spiritual identity. The Swarupa which is there in the spiritual world, that will be revealed to the devotee in his heart. Hare Krishna, this is a lot, dear devotees. This is a lot to be done. Unless one faithfully chants Hare Krishna Mahamantra, Krishna does not reveal himself. Sevan Jivado Swayamera Spuratadaha. Chanting has to be done faithfully. Krishna is present. When the moment we hold the beats, Krishna is present. Krishna is coming. Krishna is there. The moment I say Hare Krishna, Krishna is there. Is coming. Is coming. With that faith, one should chant. Never ever skip our rounds. Always try to practice. Always do our rounds daily. Hare Krishna. Anyone would like to add anything? Otherwise, let's stop here.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavad.
Hare Krishna. Ma.
Prabhupada, Prabhuji, I just, I don't, do not want to add anything, but I just have a reflection that what is explained that Gauriya Math and Bhakti, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati
Uh-huh.
Guru Maharaj, he told the devotees to chant 64 rounds, and their regulations also, I heard the Gauriya Math is very strict. So, but Prabhupada make it easy for us, and so chanting 16 rounds is a very a minimum 16 rounds chanting is very important, and also like with chanting, if I just involve in fault finding, or um, like doing all the gossiping, etc., that will not work. So that's what I like for myself. Like I have to be very careful of listening
Definitely.
to the people
Definitely.
when we
And
are in.
whoever is gossiping like that, we should avoid that association.
Yeah, yeah.
Should be very careful. We shouldn't do that. And if you have a relationship, you should slowly tell him, that's not right what you're doing.
Yes.
Hare Krishna. It's very important. Anyone else? Please think about this. Savayamana Krishna Padaravindayo. How we can always remember the lotus feet of the Lord. When we think about the Lord through his words, his actions, then that is also a process of Savayamana Krishna Padaravindayo. Please understand. That's what Krishna also assured us. Janma karma chame divyam. So the moment you know about me, the moment you think about me, then you're actually with me. So it's important. Yes. Anyone else?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, and
Super Pro Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for your wonderful.
Can you speak a little louder? I cannot hear.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes,
please?
Prabhu. Yes,
Hare
Prabhu.
Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for your wonderful katha every day, inspiring us. But Prabhuji, when I hear from you, I get a lot of inspiration. But even then, my quality, I think, I'm lacking on the quality. But hopefully, someday I will improve my quality also, Prabhji. If you can, I know that you have been giving how to improve our quality also. So we'll try to do that, Prabhji. And also you mentioned about how Srila Prabhupada has come here and struggled for us. We had to sincerely chant. Thank you, Prabhji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you. Continuing your sincerity. When we when we aspire, when we see Srila Prabhupada and his sincere followers, when we see them, when we see their struggles which they have taken in their life, Prabhupada actually struggled for us. The moment we think about that, we will never criticize others, or we will never find faults with others, or rather we will try to develop those qualities which Srila Prabhupada is wanted us to cultivate. We will try to develop those qualities from the core of the heart and move forward, because that is the greatest shelter for us. And if you see, an impersonalist is also developing those qualities, but for himself. But we are developing those qualities for the pleasure of Srila Prabhupada. There's a difference. There's there's deep. There's a lot of difference in that. And that when we try to do that, we were discussing about, right, Rajoguna and Tamoguna. Rajoguna is what? Doing for one's own self. But when we do it for the Acharya, that is transcendence. That is not even Sattva. That is on a transcendental plane. Simply doing it for the pleasure of Srila Prabhupada. Simply doing it for the pleasure of our spiritual masters. That is a transcendence. I personally have seen this in my life. Because if we want to do this, if we want to take this process seriously, continuously, because this is the only thing, there's nothing else other than this, then we need to come to this state. We need to do it for them. And when we do it, simply through our mere presence, the others will also be impacted. And we don't do it to impact others also. We do it for the pleasure of the Lord. Prabhupada did not do all of these things just to attract some mundane people. No. He did all of this to teach everyone the principles of pure devotion. Pure devotion is the only thing which gives happiness. It's nothing else. That is the essence of entire nectar of devotion. If I have to tell in one word of what this nectar of instruction is to serve, is to surrender to the spiritual master and perform pure devotional service. This is the essence. One word. And whoever comes to that state, he will do this every day with the joy. Joyfully he will get up. Joyfully he does it. He's not worried of something else. That comes. That is a conviction. Prabhupada had so many difficulties. He had fever, he had heart attacks, still he continued. Prabhupada never slept. Oh, I had fever, I have this problem, that problem. He woke up. He slept only for 2 hours. He woke up. He did. They are relishing actually. They are so happy doing it. Hare Krishna. We should think about this more and more. There is more to Krishna consciousness. It's very deep science. It's very personal. Hare Krishna. Thank you. Anyone else like to add?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam.
Yes, please tell.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. I can say from my experiences practicing Krishna consciousness, the more we do, the more we listen, the more we read, the more we chant, the more we take association, that is the time we will get closer to Krishna.
Correct.
The day we stop doing or we lapse, definitely we will feel a difference in our life.
Correct.
And you will crave that wanting this, what you once taste. So exactly what you're talking about, I have some experience and I understand very much that the more we do, is the more we will get closer and the more we will feel the wanting of being in Krishna consciousness. That's my little experience I wanted to share.
Yes, bro. The moment we stopped hearing, everything comes back again. The moment we do not hear, the moment we do not read, everything comes back again. Because Shraddha is cultivated, the watering of the seed is that. One spiritual master gives the seed, the other spiritual master, they actually the water. They give their association, they water continuously. They water in our heart. So who will get most water? The person who is very submissive. He will get the water. Person is very connected, he will get the water. The person who feels that yes, I need this. मुझे चाहिए. I really want this. That person will get it. Tatra lolam ekamulyam. that eagerness when we have, the eagerness when we cultivate that eagerness more and more, then we will get that. I've seen devotees never offending anyone. If they're offending means they're not devotees. One time, a devotee asked a spiritual master this question, Prabhuji, this devotee cheated me. He took my money and then he went away. Immediately, spiritual master replied, uh, you don't say that, don't use the word devotee. Devotee is something else. Devotee is on a transcendental plane. He looks like a devotee, but he's not a devotee. He cheated on you. He's not a devotee, actually. Cannot proclaim him as a devotee. So we should be careful. We're in a mission. We're in a moment. There's so many people. Should be very, very careful, very diligent. We should be very diligent with everyone. You cannot just understand that, oh, person is in the moment is a devotee. No. Devotee means he should have these qualities. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Wait. Thank you. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Anyone else would like to add anything? Otherwise, we'll stop it here.
Krishna Prabhuji, please accept my humble obeisances.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhu, thank you so very much for giving the message every day in the morning, in the in the Sattva Guna time. Thank you for touch basing on the kids, the timing for the kids, on how their time is getting forcefully taken without any choice over here. So very true, very there's no time for them to hear in the morning. Some way or the other we try, but then they're so
It's so sad, actually.
yeah,
So sad.
pity for them too.
I was just thinking about that. So I was asking a couple of devotees, can you for the class, and then they were giving reasons, which is logical reason. They have to send their children to the school. It's it's very difficult, devotees. Going forward, the process of Krishna consciousness will not be easy. It will be difficult only. It will be difficult. It's so sad, actually. Devotees practicing, devotee children. Just think about this year, devotees. Morning 6 a.m. they go, 6:30. It's so difficult. I don't know when they will understand. I don't know what time they will have to learn the process. Krishna Krishna. Can't do much about that. That's where we are. Yesterday I was talking to another devotee and I was telling this, that how we ourselves are actually sending our children to a place. We ourselves, we are teaching them materialism. So sad. So sad. What to do? That's how it is. Can't do much. Hare Krishna. Thank you for bringing that up. Can't do much.
Yeah. So Prabhuji, but we still have to do something. Otherwise, we are given that service to take care of the kids.
Actually, yeah, we should engage them, once they are back. Probably they go early, they come early also. I've seen children coming at 2:30 or 3 at our unit. Big children. 8th, 10th grade children. So as soon as they're back home, 3 p.m., we should sit together. They should hear, read, discuss. That thing has to be done. That thing has to be done. Otherwise, if they are not hearing this, then if they are not understanding this, then it's a problem. So we should spend some time. I know we are also working, so it becomes little difficult, but we should find ways and means. Savaya mana Krishna padara vidyo. This is a way. Krishna will be pleased with that. Prabhupada will be pleased with that, at least. So slowly, we should strive for that mood. If they hear that, if they understand that Krishna is the source of everything, if they realize that, following the instructions of Srila Prabhupada and will go back to God, then they'll make a lot of progress. For that, they need to hear. They need to hear every day. Some time has to be spent. The time is not spent, it's a problem. Because children these days are telling, I'm happy watching movies, I'm happy doing this, I'm happy doing that. I don't want to practice Krishna consciousness. Even the practitioners who practiced Krishna consciousness in their early life, they are straying away. They're going away. The children, the moment they are like 24, they started earning, they're leaving, they're going away. Why is that happening? I always see parents is also making a role in that. Because we gave them that. What did we give? Materialism. Never gave the Lord. Because we never took that kind of association. We ourselves were not convinced. How can we convince our children? I was in Detroit. I was so sad to hear this. I don't want to tell this, but I was very sad to hear this. This devotee was born in the moment, who practiced in the early days. Now he went to other city. He did his 4-year degree. After that, he got a job. Now he has an American girlfriend. Live in. So sad. So sad. You know where we are heading? We have no idea where we are heading. So sad. I was thinking about this since 5 days. What can be done? If children are straying away like this, what can be done? This is the place for that. America is meant for enjoyment, dear devotees. That's why Prabhupada came here. We say that our children should be like this, like that. No. The moment they are 22, they'll not even hear a word of you. I'll write it down. We tried, we think that things will shape up in my own way. So Rajvo, because we are not giving Krishna to them. Krishna is not there in their life. Sense gratification will be there. Now the devotee very sadly is telling me, I don't know whether he'll call for me for his marriage also. If he calls for the marriage, then I'll be very happy. Some point down the line. Those devotees, they're in the practicing since 25 years. But somehow they couldn't connect. Somehow the association was not never, the child never took that association. So it's very sad to hear. I was just praying, what can be done? Can't do much. It's completely Americanized. It's just a vegetarian. What is that helping? So many sinful activities. Having relationship before marriage. Is that not a sin? Is that not a crime? I was talking to a devotee yesterday that this is not a sin. Oh, Prabhu, don't tell like that. People will laugh on us. Having illicit relationship, that's normal. People will laugh on us. If you say it is sin, people will laugh on us. That's all it is. Society is. Because where are we? Where are we? Are we in the association of devotees? No. Where are we? We are in a place where it is completely, fully materialism. It's fully material. The moment you leave the home, it's complete materialism. Even in the home also it's materialism. The moment you open up the cell phone. It's fully where we are protected, never protected. That was the reason why my spiritual master is making an effort. He's at least trying to protect some children. At least we are trying, that is our hope. That's why I'm going to India. At least I'll protect one, एक child को भी बचाएंगे. Then my life is successful. At least if I save one child from this onslaught of this material nature, one child, then our mission is success. One child. At least one child becomes a pure devotee. Then the mission is successful. So things have changed so much. There's no commitment anymore. If you give me happiness, I'll be there with you. If you satisfy me, I'll be there with you. After that, I do not have any relationship with you. That's how this world is developed. What to do? Prabhupada, you have everything. But even we as a parent, we do not aspire for that. What to do? We just fold our hands, just speak the truth, and then move away. Can't do much. Just tell the truth. We can tell what is right, what is wrong. But at the end, it's we who have to take the decision. I remember my spiritual master. He says, you should take the decision. You should take the decision. If you want to work, if you not want to work, if you want to do this, do that, you should take the decision. I'll tell what to be done. It's up to you. He tells all of us. He tells this is up to you who have to take it. If you want to do sense gratification, Krishna will help that also. If you want to serve him, Krishna will help that also. What do you want to take? What is your goals and aspirations? That you'll get it. You know why Srila Prabhupada told slaughterhouses? I realized after seeing that child. You know what? He was always with Jagannath. He was always holding Jagannath. The child was the one who brought deities at their home. The child is the one who actually motivated the parents. I know about the child since many years. No, he was the one who brought Jagannath at their home. No. So sad. So sad. So sad. So, dear devotees, that's how this world is designed. If you do not have association, it's a problem. So, children have to be continuously being kept under the radar, under the association always. And before they come to that state of 2021, they should realize this. Because they should realize this. How many days we will feed them? No, they should realize this. But if they are not in the process, how will they realize this? This is what is happening. This is how the things are manifesting. It's a problem. I remember one of other senior devotee whom I took training initially. He's telling in the class. He's telling a Mataji was asking him, how do I She was asking, how do I cultivate that faith in my son so that he takes the process? He says, I will not take this process. How do I cultivate that? And he immediately said, Amma, it's not easy, it's difficult. And he also said, he is actually seeing the devotees not following those things. That's very sad. That's why one should come to this plane. The Shravana, Kirtana, and then having that relationship has to be developed. Otherwise, otherwise it becomes very difficult. The process becomes difficult. Everything becomes difficult. Hare Krishna. So,
Krishna Prabhu.
I'm s-
Prabhuji, thank you so much. Is Mataji done? Sorry, I do not want to.
Hare Krishna, you are okay. Yeah.
Please
Yes.
go ahead, Mataji. Thank you.
Thank you. It's a very big topic what you said about this raising kids. Prabhuji, I have another question. If do you have time?
Yeah. Yes.
So actually, it's always like comes in my mind. I also ask another senior devotee the same question, Prabhuji. So I saw some of the devotees. They are very interested in singing kirtan and very interested like very interested on those. But when there is a Krishna Katha, they just leave the room or just talking to others and not very interested. But during their kirtan they like expect that people will listen. And so Prabhuji, how I don't know, like I feel like I should know that, like why some followers or whatever it say like this. Prabhuji, I just want to know that is the very beginning stage. Maybe they are already initiated or not, but I I
Actually, I'll
noticed.
tell something about it. My spiritual master, my Shiksha Guru, he cultivated children from the age of 8 to 15. He used to be with them. He used to spend time with them continuously, every day, for years. Every day he used to spend time. And then after spending the time, because he gave that relationship, he extended himself. Because those children would know what he has done in his life, because he's always with them. He's always playing with them, telling some stories, playing together, feeding them prasad. You know, all the devotees used to sleep in his small apartment. So they were there with him for years, like 10 children or so, 10 to 12. They were there with him for years. Now, nobody, all the devotees in the community, then nobody would understand what's happening here. Why is Prabhu spending so much time with these children? And then later on, after 10, 15 years, they become adults. They studied, they went to the school, college. Now their education is also completed. They hear every day from him. Because why? Because they have a relationship with them. They hear every day from him. And then now those children, they are the teachers in the school. They become the teachers in our school. It is so interesting actually, because a pure devotee, they would always see the future. They wouldn't see at this moment what is happening. Abhi kya ho raha hai. They wouldn't see at this moment. but they would see the future. But now, how are they protected? No, they have full faith in the process. They're fully convinced in the process. They do it. They're happy practicing Krishna consciousness. Now, to your point, when children, they are doing kirtan, means they are doing it for themselves, Amma. Please understand. I'm writing down and giving. They are doing for themselves. They want to chant. They want to do. They want to hear. They want to sing. Because singing means here they're the center, right? They're in the center. They're singing. Everyone will watch them. A girl might watch him or a boy might watch her. They're doing it for that. It's not on a pure plane. Why? How do we know that? Because they're not hearing. They're ruchi nahi na uske upar. That's the parameter. Now, how do I know that if a person is a devotee or not? If he's completely submitting himself. That submission doesn't come. For example, I'll tell one other thing. A person will be eager to speak, but a person will not be eager to hear. The person will be, he will chant Hare Krishna when he leads the kirtan. When other person is leaving, that person who led the kirtan, he will leave that.
Yes, Prabhu. That's I notice on the adults too.
Everywhere, ये सब जगह यही होता है. This is what happens at every place. The moment they are leading, they come, and then after that they go. Why? Because they are doing it for themselves. Rajo. That's why eventually they will not get the taste, and then they will try to find the taste in material world. Vishya vinivartante nirahara siddhena. And they are also familiar with the past. They think that they know everything. There's a problem. They all think that they know everything. It's the problem. It's the biggest problem. Knowing that I know everything. Actually, we don't know anything. Through familiarity breeds content. The content में कुछ गफला आ गया. There's a problem in the content. Because why? We are familiar with the process. We become familiar. So having right association is the key. It's very important. And the children are not in that kind of association. It's a problem. It's really a problem. So association is a key, and familiarity is the reason why that happens. And then even we also tell them, right? Oh, you आपने बहुत अच्छा गाया है, आपने वो अच्छा किया है, ये अच्छा किया है. But we don't want to correct them. That's the problem. And then for that appreciation, they come and sing. Now everyone should appreciate me. Oh, Neil Govind Prabhu बहुत अच्छा class दिया है. What is that? That is like, if I'm expecting that is like adding sand in sweet rice. Adding sand in sweet rice. Because if somebody is looking happiness through that glorification, he is no less than a prostitute. He or she is no less than a prostitute. And actually, prostitute is far better. She's giving her body for a livelihood. But we are even far more duplicitous than that. Devotee means no expectation. The problem is that kind of association. This Shravana, it's heavy. If I tell that there are some problems, people are not ready to accept that. Only few accept that. Whoever accepts it, they will get benefit. Whoever do not accept, they will not get benefit. Because Rajoguna is there, na? Kama, Esha, Kroja, Rajoguna Samudba. Through that false ego, what it will tell, through the Rajoguna, what it will tell, whatever I did is correct. Oh, I know everything. What do you know? You know nothing actually. There's a problem. Greatest problem is today is that. Hare Krishna. Is it okay, Amma? Pashwati Amma? That's how it is.
Yes, Prabhu. Yes. Yeah. Yes.
Pretty
And not,
straightforward.
yes, Prabhu. Yeah. That not only the kids, like the adults also are.
Yes, yes, yes. I'm not just talking about kids, adults also, yes.
Adults also. Like I feel like how to cultivate those like to help them, or also like how I can like, because it's irritates me, Prabhuji. So that's what I just would like to clarify this.
You should understand, if proper Shravana is not there, then everyone today or tomorrow will leave.
Yeah.
It's only a matter of time. It's just staying there. Prabhupada actually told once, we are not a movement where everyone come together and then you bring dal, I bring sabji, I bring khichdi, I bring papad, I bring sweet. We are not that kind of a place. We are not that kind of a community. That's what Prabhupada said actually. Yes, we are not that actually. We are not meant for that. We are not here to get some social comforts. We're not meant for that. We are meant to realize ourselves. We're not this body but a powerful spirit soul. And this soul has an eternal relationship with the Lord. This we need to realize. And Lord is a person. We are not Jyoti. Lord is a person. And we have a relationship with Him and we serve Him. He's a person there. We're serving Him continuously. We need to realize this. And for that, to realize it, we need to keep all our things aside. Our name, fame, arey kya hai, kuch bhi nahi hai. It's like nothing. Futile. Everything has to be kept aside. And one should simply take the instructions of the acharyas. That's it. That is the whole point actually. It is the whole point of it. That Prabhupada is begging, he's praying profusely to Rupa Goswami, please help, please help. I want to spread this mission, spread this movement. Like he's so dependent. How can we get everything without being dependent? The moment we understand, the moment we think that we are getting without being dependent means that is Rajoguna. Nobody will get anything unless and until he comes to transcendental plane. It's all a mere show. Nobody will get anything. Not get the taste until we come to that plane. That is everything actually. Giving our life and soul to them. That is through that way only we are protected. We're not protected in any other way. So we should think about this. We should think about ourselves. We should think about our children. What should be done? What else should be done? Relationships are very bad, very weak today. How much time we are spending with our children every day? We should ask this question. We should ask. What are they doing every day, all day? What are they doing? Where are they engaged? We should take care of our children. Hare Krishna. These are the things which we need to do. When we put the efforts like this, then the Lord will also reciprocate according to that, because that is our desire. If our desire is something else, the Lord will do something else. If our desire is this, Lord will give this. And not just engaging our children in so many, the kids know so many things. Mridanga, they know how to play mridanga, they know how to play piano. We are teaching the activities, but we are not giving the habits. We are not cultivating the qualities. Teaching the activities, but no qualities. Hare Krishna. Thank you. Thank you all very much. Again, if I cause an inconvenience in my words, please excuse me. Please try to think about this. The truth is powerful. If your children, they also receive this, if we also take this to the heart, we are protected from this world. Forget we protecting thousands of people, at least we are protected ourselves. Hare Krishna. Thank you. Thank you all very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Let us all offer our humble obeisances unto all Vaishnava devotees of the Lord. Just like desires who can fulfill the desires of everyone, they are full of compassion for the fallen conditions also. Vancha kalpatarubhyasya pipasya vivacha patitanam bhavanebhyam Vaishnavebhyam
Namo Namah.
Hare Krishna. Thank you all very much.